discourse beer because I could go on a discourse. I mean, there's all kinds of sports. There's so many sports that, you flip it up. There's a 58-year-old woman who's competing in ping pong.
Cool.
Yeah. And there's rugby. I mean, you get to see things you don't usually get to
rugby,
see.
Yeah. I mean, I'd watch some rugby.
Anyway, on that note, Joe, contact Joe if you want to complain. If you like the Olympics, we'll talk about more things that we do like coming up next, right here on Thirsty Thursdays. Sense and Nonsense, another great edition with another great beer to come.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Always great to catch up with Dr. Brad Whittle of Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. Everybody wants to make every year a great one mentally and physically, and certainly ASFCA can help in that regard.
Chiropractic, acupuncture, physiotherapies. We're going to address the body and the mind to keep you in great shape. With winter moving into spring, we don't want to have the opportunity to get hurt or to be slow and not do what we used to do, right?
Absolutely right, and you can do that in a variety of ways.
We can. We love looking at the body and how it moves, looking at the posture and how it holds us to be strong, to be safe, and really to help us do those things we love to do.
The wide variety and range of services you can get helps in that regard at Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. 7 locations all around the Kansas City area. Find the one that's most convenient for you. And for more information, visit asfca.com/Danny. That's asfca.com/Danny.
Hey Kansas City, Joe Spiker, Easton Roofing, back for another beautiful springtime in Kansas City. We are proud to announce our renewed partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Kansas City. Starting in 2024, a portion of every job sold will be donated to a cause close to my heart. I was a big, and I encourage you to volunteer. And if you hire us for service on your residential or commercial roof, you'll know that a portion of the profits will go to a great cause. So call us at 913-257-5426. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
We're here at the 23rd Street Brewery with Matt Llewellyn. And Matt, you've got a great menu. You fine-tuned it a little bit. Great beers. There's always something to be had to put a smile on your face at the 23rd Street Brewery.
Oh, you bet. And Brian Haney would always say, come have the Haney turkey stack. Bill Self would say, come have the Bill Self pasta. I would say, come have the Bill Self pasta. It's great mac and cheese, buffalo mac and cheese. And we've got a ton of other menu items that you're sure to love. We've got a great brewer who's brewing great beer. And if you like craft beer, our guy's the way to go. And we're making great drinks, too. There's a great new distillery in the state of Kansas called Llewellyn Distillery. My brother's doing that. He makes some great whiskey and vodka and rum, and we're doing all kinds of great drinks with those beverages.
Always fun to be had at the 23rd Street Brewery, 23rd and Castle. Come on by anytime and have a good time.
If you'd like to join these and other fine sponsors and market your business on Kansas City's #1 rated podcast, contact us at Danny@DannyKlinkscale.com. Look forward to working with you.
That's a single opening, Danny.
Oh, yeah. It was another opening in another show. I prematurely exploded over here. But I was so excited to get into the Weaves of Blonde Ale, brewed and canned by Discourse Brewing Company. Available right now as far as liquor stores, I believe, only at Santa Fe Liquors. And I was wrong. We're being pretty nice on the ABV today. We had a 4.5, and this is merely a 5.2, which I figured a blonde ale wasn't going to be.
I can't wait to hear what you think about this. Well, you take that sip, Danny, with your eyes closed and really think about it.
It's delicious. It's delicious, but we've had two styles of beer that aren't among my favorites.
I feel like I gotta get that rice beer taste out of my mouth.
Blonde ale. That's why you're supposed to have a little water or something. Mm-hmm. I think it's very good. I mean, they make good beer. And it's a great spot too. So,
Danny.
Discourse Brewing Company, Overland Park.
You know what this beer isn't?
What isn't it?
It's not piss poor.
No, it is not.
Do you know where the phrase piss poor comes from?
Nothing's really leaping right into my brain. It sounds like it would be a common sense type of thing if I wanted to suss it out for a long period of time.
It is British in origin.
Yes. Go right ahead.
Okay, so during the Industrial Revolution in England, they would use urine
Ooh!
to tan animal hides.
And somebody who was working.
So if you were really poor, you would collect your piss and you'd go sell it to the tannery.
Oh, I thought it was about the workers who had to, they had to work in the tannery, so they were piss poor because they were.
So if you were so poor you sold your own piss, you were piss poor. And that's also where the really poor people didn't have a pot to piss in.
Ooh. Oh, so they couldn't even collect.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
So when I was a kid, I remember them saying that, about people to be like, they're so poor they don't have a pot to piss in.
Right.
Like, that was pretty common. You've heard that, right?
My dad said it all the time.
And that's where that came from. Isn't that wild?
In fact, I don't think my dad ever said that somebody was poor. I think every time he said,
were piss poor.
No, they didn't have a pot to piss in.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a nice little euphemism, right?
He had plenty of euphemisms, the old man, and he used them. Most of my friends, or people who, only met my dad or around my dad occasionally, thought he was just a hoot.
Oh, I'm sure. I wish I could have met him.
Well, he was a hoot. I mean, he was in it, but his material was all fresh to the new people. So that was
they
better.
made a movie about your dad, sort of, named Anchorman.
Yes, and it was. Yes, he was more like say a cross between Ted Baxter on the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and Will Ferrell.
Got it.
Ted Baxter was a dim-witted anchorman. Because Mary Tyler Moore worked in a newsroom. That was the setting. And he was like, so he was basically Anchorman Will Ferrell is a redo, R-E-D-U-X, probably of Ted Baxter.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you wanted to go see Anchorman, you'd have to purchase a ticket in a box office. Have you ever wondered why you call it a box office at a theater? What do you think?
Man, because the ticket taker was in a box. Isn't that right?
Well, that would make sense, but that's not really what it is.
Okay.
Okay, so back to Shakespearean times.
Oh,
we go, Danny. All the way back to the
Very
Globe.
English flavor on this podcast today.
Hey, well, whatever. All the way back to the Globe Theater. They would have boys that would walk around with ceramic boxes, and they found this through archaeological findings. And they would take the money for tickets in these ceramic boxes. And then they would take those back and store them in the box office. Okay?
So the office full of boxes.
So that's one theory. Okay?
Okay, but it's only one theory.
There's a second theory. Okay? And let me consult my notes here, because I want to make sure I get this right. The first written time that you see it come up is in 1741, and it is the office where people would buy tickets for the boxes. So, like the nice seats up top with their own boxes.
Yes, yep.
So you would go to an office and pre-buy your tickets there, and so they called that office the box office because you were buying tickets for the box.
That makes more sense. I like the second one better. But either can work.
Yeah.
I do like the second one better, though.
But it does make sense also that it's just a box office because it's this squarish little thing out front.
Yeah.
But why call it a box office? We wouldn't call it the square house or the square booth.
Well, that's why I think that the office where you buy your box seats, as it were, that make... Excuse me. Usually we're able to back off.
So listen, if you could come watch the recording of this podcast...
It's Discourse Brewery.
If you could watch the recording of this podcast, you would see that we look at each other every now and then with a look of fear in our eyes that there's a burp coming.
Right.
And usually, you got to take over.
Usually it's avoided. And in that case, it was not. And I'm not, that's good comic effect. I'm not editing that. I could.
Fine.
It's pretty raw here.
So that's my contribution, Danny. I'm getting out of town on Friday. I'm going to go play some golf in Vail. It's going to be beautiful.
At altitude.
I love it. At altitude, we've talked
How's
about
your game? We haven't been out together. When you come back from Vail, we need to get out on the course.
Absolutely. I took my son the other night, and he played pretty well. He shot a 101, which I was very proud of.
Did he have a shot at breaking 100?
Oh, for sure. He completely fell apart, like 11, 12, 13, 14, like 8, 9,
Oh,
8.
so he didn't choke at the end.
No, in the middle, he lost it, and then like almost lost it also, like almost came to tears, but then was able to
Well, that's pretty good.
recompose
That's a better.
and then go out and finished like bogey. He finished like bogey par or something. Like,
Right.
Good for him, right?
Well, yeah, that's a good sign. That's a very good sign.
Dad shot an 84, but this was, to be fair, out at Burning Tree. But I played Fred Arbanis the other day, buddy, and on the back, I shot a 42 at Fred Arbanis.
Good for you.
Yes, sir. For me, that is like 17 hole-in-ones in a row for you.
I'm close. I'm close, but I'm not. I'm throwing away shots, but nobody wants to really hear about your golf game. But anyway, it's nice to get out, even when it's a million. It is the one place I played golf on Tuesday, and it was 100. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't really bother me. Now, towards the end, it was hot and it was getting to you. But if you were out like working,
Yeah.
you'd be miserable. You'd be like, I can't wait. But when I'm playing golf, I'm just concentrating on golf. Yes, it's hot, but
You and I played 36 at Creekmore in 98-degree heat. Do you remember that?
yes, we said let's go again.
And about hole 14, it caught up with us.
I used to do that and walk. So you've been to Vail quite often, right?
Yeah, I love it. It's beautiful.
So is this just a golf trip, or is this a family trip that includes golf?
This is just golf. Next year, you might get the invite, Danny, because I'm starting to get some interest here to make this a regular yearly occurrence. So,
I have only been on one or two what you would call golf trips, like with a bunch of buddies.
Yeah.
My brother arranged one way back in the day. I play a lot of golf, so it hasn't been anything that was like a bucket list thing for me. I played a lot of golf in my life by myself, which I don't mind at all. But to me, it sounds like great fun, and I would love to do. If I was going to pick one place, probably, well, I think, I haven't played golf in the British Isles, so I would like that. But Bandon Dunes in Oregon sounds like a fantastic place.
I got this close to an invite.
Yeah, I thought you were going there.
Yeah, the guy got sick and got fluid on his lungs, and I was going to take his place. And then the bastard turned around and got better.
Well, darn it all. Too
So I
bad.
lost my spot.
Well, my travel recently has included a scenic overnight stay in Topeka, Kansas. Yeah, last week.
What's in Topeka?
38 special.
Oh, that's right.
And it was fun.
Where did they play?
The Stormont Vale Auditorium or Event Center.
Okay.
It looks like it holds maybe 6, and they had part of it, curtained off. So it's probably 4,000 capacity that night. I'm just guessing now. And it was a good crowd, still 2,500. People had a blast. There were some 20-year-olds next to me having the time of their lives watching it. They knew the songs. And I didn't want to, Topeka's not that far, but it's a solid hour, and so the show starts a little late. I didn't want to
Have a couple beers. You don't want to drive back here.
a couple hundred beers. Anyway, it was great fun. It's my, like I've said before many times, there are other musicians who I, think are, higher quality, whatever, but I love going to see 38 Special, and I've generally done it almost always. So I don't figure anybody else wants to go.
Yeah.
So I get to, my wife certainly doesn't want to go. But it was really great fun. It was great fun.
You know what's dumb is hospitals advertising on things.
And it has become everything. They're on everything now.
And what do you need? You only go to the hospital when you need to go to the hospital. Why do you need to advertise?
I think
that's how you know they're making
now
too much
I think
money.
there's a lot of first of all, they do have a lot of money. Secondly, I think people are more discerning about their choices in their health care now, or they at least seem like they think these gigantic health groups must think there's value in it, because they are there's more, I think, arenas now they're the title sponsors of what 2/3 of the things you can think about.
Unbelievable. I mean, like GEHA, like
Right.
they're a government healthcare insurance. Why do they